The college basketball experience. Way too early preseason top 25 for the 2024-25 season and futures market look ahead on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick 'em with the chance to win 100 times in NBA, MLB, NHL, golf, and more. Sign up today using that promo code TCESGPN to get a 100% deposit match today. And we're also brought to you by the premier arbitrage sports betting tool, AVO, using their tool to bet both sides and lock in a profit. Access their platform for free, arbs versus odds.com. That's ARBVSVSODDS.com. And we're also brought to you by, well, it's Masters Week. The Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a tailor-made Spider X putter for free to enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, easily at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. Welcome in, everybody, to the college basketball experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Well, it is Tuesday, April the 9th, which means, unfortunately, the day after the National Championship, but it's never too early to look ahead to the preseason polls or what we're going to project it to be. The futures market, always there's some value out there. If you got UConn last year after they won their 5th national championship, got that in for number 6. Well, you were a big winner last night. Shout out to all you UConn Husky fans out there winning their 6th title in 25 years. A true blue blood. Coaching changes going on. We got transfer portal going on. Got a little bit of everything going on. But I wanted to do. I've been mocking people that have been putting out their top 25. So I say, you know what? Fuck it. Let me do it as well. I'll give out my preseason top 25 way too early preseason top 25. But yeah, it's projecting a lot, obviously, with the portal. You got the COVID year. This will be the final year of the COVID eligibility where guys can exercise that 5th year. Obviously, the transfer portal news change in the offseason. So you got guys that are able to jump ship all the way till I think mid-May or I think late May. So we're going to have some more movement. I was going through the news earlier today on guys that have just hit the portal before we went live. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. So we'll do our best to cover every single one that hits the portal, where they're going, how they fit with their new culture. Culture is not even a word in today's college basketball game, but their new team, their rental team. But hey, we can talk about the guys that we know are coming back, who we think's coming back, and who could be a top 25 team and get ahead on some of these early futures headed into the 24-25 season. But before we do so, I have to shout out, our own Golf Gambling Podcast, because it's Masters Week. Get on over there. They're giving away the Green Jacket podcast guys. They're giving away a tailor-made Spider X putter. All you got to do is enter for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. All righty. We are back on the college basketball experience. And I didn't introduce myself, by the way. I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, also known as... Welcome to another edition of Mac Tonight, featuring on the college basketball experience, where we're going to dive into this way too early preseason top 25. Let me get my list out here. I was crunching numbers, trying to figure out who's going to be back, and I came across number 25. Let's go to the Big Ten, where we know they will not win the national championship because they have not won the national championship since 1999 when Michigan State won it with Tom Izzo and company. I got the Wisconsin Badgers as my 25th team. How I came across them? Well, Greg Gard obviously runs a good program. You look at Wisconsin, what they got coming back. They did lose AJ Storr in the portal, but for the most part, I mean Chucky's back. You got Klesmit's back. Coming in, the key newcomers, Jack Robinson, Daniel Freitag. You got Stephen Crowell in the middle coming back as well, and then John Blackwell as well. So mainly, I'm just banking on culture here. With Wisconsin, I know they'll be in the mix. They always are in the mix. They were an up and down team this year, started very fast in November, December, even January, then hit that February wall. Obviously, Peter out against James Madison in the round of 64. So I got the Wisconsin Badgers as my number 25th team, and I'll stay. Actually, I'm Big Ten heavy to start here. I got a team returning into the top 25. I got the Maryland Terrapins. Disappointing second year for Kevin Willard, but they are going to be talented next year. They do lose Jameer Young, which is obviously a big loss. He was a good 2-year piece there. Dante Scott as well. But Julian Reese is coming back, and they bring in the big fella, the freshman Derek Queen. So they're going to be talented in the front court. Gillespie coming over from Belmont. They got Rodney Rice out of the portal as well with Virginia Tech. So I expect a bounce back year number 3 of the Kevin Willard era. So I got the Maryland Terrapins cracking the top 25 way too early. Preseason top 25 for Moneyline Mac. At number 23, like I said, I'm Big Ten heavy. I got, and I'll shout out to Discord because I know they were saying put a future on these guys, and I do somewhat agree that this could be a sneaky team. They were disappointing this year, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. But I got the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Steve Peichel keeps a good program. I think they will bounce back this year, just like Maryland. I think it was a down year, had some injuries. Obviously, they have lost a couple pieces in the portal. The main one, they lose the big fella Cliff Amuri, who we have not found out where he's going yet. So, but I like Dylan Harper. With this newcomers, I like this freshman class with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Jermichael Davis, Tyson Akuf, Jeremiah Williams, obviously coming back. So I think that this is going to be a Rutgers team. And shout out to the chat. There's rumors that they may add Aaron Bradshaw. We will see. He's one of the names that has hit the portal recently. Him and 1,400 other guys. So Rutgers Scarlet Knights crack my top 25 at number 23. At number 22, the guy that will not die on the hot seat. Everybody keeps trying to run him out of town. There's a lot pending with this team. They went to the Elite Eight. They fell short. The Clemson Tigers were waiting on PJ Hall, Chase Hunter. They have COVID eligibility final years. We'll see what happens with that. Joe Girard is finally out of eligibility. He will not be back. But a lot waiting on the Hunter and Hall news. If they're back, they're definitely a top 25 team again for Brad Brownell coming off the Elite Eight year. So I got the ACC Clemson Tigers at number 22. Number 21, what league are they in? They're in the Big Ten now. I almost said Pac-12, the UCLA Bruins. So I got Mick Cronin coming back here, another bounce back opportunity. They've added Sky Clark from Louisville in the portal. They also added Kobe Johnson in the portal, which is disgusting, going from USC to UCLA. Down year for Mick Cronin, 16 and 17, but they won't be down for long. They bring a lot back. Cronin always in the mix. He won't have 2 back-to-back down years as they transition into the new league of the Big Ten. At number 20, I got the Buzzsaw Texas A&M checking in here. They, on paper, look good. I mean, they bring back Wade Taylor. I know they lose Tyrese Radford. They lose the big fella Levesque. He was a role guy. Coming in, Andre Mills, George Turkson, but a lot coming back. Manny Abakoski, Anderson Garcia, Solomon Washington, and Henry Coleman. I mean, that's, I guess, would be the projected starting 5, but the headline there with Wade Taylor. So I got the A&M Aggies, the Buzzsaw at number 20. We'll dive into the top on the lower side of the top 20. But first, let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is a place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. You can pick higher or lower. Underdog's been great to us all season long, begin giving out winners left and right, higher or lower over on Underdog Fantasy. I'm pulling up Underdog right now. Maybe I can give out a little MLB action for tomorrow. I'm seeing right now, well, this game's live. I want to go to tomorrow's games over at Underdog Fantasy. I don't think that they have Underdog out for MLB tomorrow, but I'll stay tuned. Go check out the MLB Gambling Podcast. I would give out college basketball picks, but I don't have any college basketball games till November 4th. So Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN, and what they'll do right up there with that code, you can see up top, TCESGPN. They will double your first deposit up to $100. It's big time. So get on over there. Use this promo code TCESGPN. Stack higher, lower, 6-1 odds, 7-1 payouts, and simply pick higher or lower and stack them on top of each other. Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. Shout out to the chat, Rob. I do not have any unfortunately games on the deck. So rumor is it that USC is playing Cal opening night, November 4th? Oh, yeah. Welcome to the ACC versus the Big Ten Challenge in the state of California. College basketball in 2024-25. Somebody passed me a shotgun. Shout out to the chat as well. David, he's bashing UCLA, even though Arizona and UCLA are not in the same league anymore. He's got to get his jabs in at Mick Cronin and the UCLA Bruins. James, Jay Lederman, I talk about Rutgers, Cameron. So shout out to you guys. Cannabis Capper. It never stops here. Jeff Sharp. You guys are the best. We love you. And let's dive into the top 20 now. Number 19, another ACC. So I'm heavy ACC and Big Ten to start in this preseason top 25. This team was fucking disappointing and ass this year. Miami Hurricanes. And I guess we'll kind of keep the theme going. I trust the coach. I think that they will bounce back. Nigel Pack back. They do lose Nord Chadamir. But incoming, they've done well in the portal early. Lance Kidd from Virginia Tech. Brandon Johnson got some size. Got Cleveland coming back popular. I trust Larinaga. I'll trust Larinaga to get this thing going. Got the guys out that need to get out and get this thing bounced back in the right direction. So I got the Hurricanes of Miami at number 19. At number 18, and honestly, they probably could be higher, but I don't think that they're going to lose anybody. A lot's pending with the COVID eligibility. They usually don't lose guys in the portal because they're Mormons. There's your hint. I got the BYU Cougars out of the Big 12, baby. They bring back a lot, and it'll be year 2 in this league. Dolan Hall coming back, Spencer Johnson, Trevin Nell, Noah Waterman, and of course Khalifa, the big fella as well. They got the role guys off the bench as well. They really don't lose any big time pieces to the portal. It was disappointing how they petered out in the NCAA tournament against Duquesne. But I mean, I like BYU, and I like the outlook here of the BYU Cougars, year number 2 in the Big 12 with Mark Pope. He has been rumored to Kentucky. We'll see what happens. Philip, I did see that. Stojakovic rumored to BYU. He would fit in very well with the BYU Cougars with the way they space, shoot the ball. BYU is going to be good. They're going to be good for years to come now that they got that Big 12 money, that Big 12 facilities, and they play one of the best schedules in the country now that the Big 12 is getting even more teams, and they're going to be in the hunt for years to come with Mark Pope. I am interested to see if Kentucky does swing and miss on some of these candidates if Mark Pope, because Mark Pope did play at Kentucky, so he could be an under the radar candidate. But I mean, I think Kentucky's going to swing for the fences. We went to the candidates last night. Colby, myself, and Noah Beat. Go check out that episode. David says he fits in because he's white. That is half the criteria at BYU, it seems. They do have a lot of white guys. That is their brand of basketball. They got a couple brothers, though. I mean, they mix and match at BYU. I'll never forget when Davies, the year that they went to the Sweet 16, they were good enough to go to the Final Four. He got kicked off the team for having sex with a girl. So shout out to the Mormon rules. They don't bend it for anybody even when you're in the middle of a national championship pursuit. Let's go to number 17 in the SEC. I get the Florida Gators. Florida, good year for them. Todd Golden, year number 2. They're going to be talented again. They got good guards, Walter Clayton, Will Richard. They're fast. The big fella, it'll be interesting, that had the gruesome injury against who was it in the SEC title game? It was, who did Florida lose? Auburn. Lost to Auburn in the SEC title game. Hamlockton, hopefully he is back. I doubt he's going to be back right away with how bad that injury was. They do lose some pieces. Pullen is done. Rob Zion Pullen. Tyree Samuel's gone as well. Kugel transfers to Kansas. So, but I'll trust Golden. They took some strides in year number 2. I think they take another stride, or they're right back in this 15 to 20 range in year number 3. So I got the Florida Gators coming in at number 17 for me. At number 16, this guy's always in that 10 to 20 range. I got the Creighton Blue Jays. Now, they could go up more because they have 2 COVID eligibility seniors. I don't think that Kalkbrenner is going to come back, but why wouldn't Ashworth come back, especially with the NIL? Shireman's out. Farabello's out. Trey Alexander, as of right now, is back. So Creighton's kind of a hard team to gauge right now. If Creighton gets all their guys back, shit, they're in the top 10, fringe top 5 team, and they got a chance to win the Big East with Greg McDermott in this group that has won a lot of games over the last couple of years. But as of right now, we'll say 17 for the Creighton Blue Jays. Sorry, that was number 16, right? Yeah, that was number 16. At number 15, I got the St. Mary's Gales, and the St. Mary's Gales always run a good program here. I'm all over the place. That was number 18, the Creighton Blue Jays. This is I got it in Excel, so thanks for your patience. I got the St. Mary's Gales coming in next. This is another good program. They bring back a lot as well. The Gales, Ada Mahaney's coming back. The big fella, Mitchell Saxon's coming back. They do lose Dukas, which will be a big loss. They're waiting on a 5th-year eligibility with Luke Barrett. But overall, St. Mary's, they've won the WCC back-to-back years. They're going to go for year number 3 here, where they have not done this under Randy Bennett. I think they're right in the hunt, although I will sneak peek. I am very, very high on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. So it's going to be a tall task for them to dethrone the Gonzaga Bulldogs once again. And yeah, so St. Mary's comes in at number 15. I'm all over the place. At number 14, I got the Marquette Screaming Eagles. It does not sound like Kolik's going to come back. It does not sound like Oso's coming back either, but they still got plenty of talent. Stevie Mitchell will man the point guard position. Sean Jones did a good job as well. You got Cam Jones that's going to take another step. Joplin, this is a good program. This is a program that will not take a step back. They've almost won 60 games in the last 2 years in the Big East. So I trust Shaka Smart and company to keep that company going in the right direction. I got the Marquette Screaming Eagles at number 14. Number 13, another good coach here, Rick Barnes and company. They're coming off the Elite Eight, lost to Purdue. They will lose Dalton Knecht, most likely to the NBA. They will lose Josiah Jordan James, Viscavi. Awaka hit the portal today, but they got Ziegler back. They got Adu back. They have a system, and Tennessee's going to be physical. They're going to be in the hunt. They're going to run their offense, the staggers, the pin downs, and hopefully they can get another impact guy in the portal to get back into the top 10 if you're a Rocky Top Tennessee fan. Next up at number 13, I'll go back to my league, the Big 12, and I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie, because I got the Baylor Bears here at number 12. I think Scott Drew could potentially be on the way to Lexington. I'm hoping that he's going to be back, but if Scott Drew is back, I like Baylor to be good again. I know they do lose a good amount, but you're going to trust Scott Drew. They lose and they reload. Jaden Nunn, Langston Love, Messi will go to the NBA. He'll be a one and done. He did wonders there. Jacoby Walter as well, one and done. RJ Dennis is on the way out. Jalen Bridges has a COVID year. I don't know. I think he's probably going to go to the NBA. So if Jalen Bridges does come back, Baylor's going to be right there, top 15, top 10 again. But probably he's going to go to the NBA. I think I think Baylor. I mean, they're culture proof. They're gonna be they're kind of like Tennessee. They're like Creighton, Marquette. These teams with really good coaches are going to find a way. Chris says I will have a Big 12 team. There's a good chance I got a Big 12 team at number 1, but stay tuned. Maybe I got a couple in the top 5. There's a couple good Big 12 teams next year that are going to be ready to take a crack at this national championship. At number 11, before we hit an ad break, I got the Auburn Tigers. You got to trust Bruce Pearl, even though we don't know if he's the coach right now. Maybe he's headed to Lexington. Pettiford coming in. You got Denver Jones. You got Chris Moore. We'll see what happens with Johnny Broom. I think he's got a 5th year. He hit the portal though, but he said he may come back. We'll see what happens. Katie Johnson leaves. Trey Donaldson is on the way out, and so is Jalen Williams. So they lose a lot, but they bring in a lot. They're going to be athletic. They're going to be fast. They're going to be erratic. They're going to be entertaining. It's the Auburn Tigers at number 11. Bruce Pearl. They're going to be unbeatable at home at the Jungle. They're going to struggle at the road. They'll be in the 5-12 game, and they may lose. If they get by that, they might go to the Final Four. It's Tennessee, not Tennessee. Bruce Pearl was at Tennessee. It's Bruce Pearl in a nutshell. They're always entertaining. All right, real quick, let's hit an ad break and get back to the top 10. Moneyline Mac top 10, way too early. Top 25 edition here. But first, we got to talk about AVO, the premier sports betting arbitrage tool. And if you're betting with arbitrage sports betting tool, it's very simple. Basically, betting on both sides, just like Colby likes to do. Shout out to the swinging database, Pick Dundee. And it scans all sports books so you can get the biggest discrepancy, and boom, you can hit both sides, make a profit here, baby. Best part is AVO is currently free to use without restrictions. That's right, completely free. Get on over there at arbsversusodds.com, arbsversusodds.com, arbsvsodds.com. That's arbsversusodds.com. All right, we are back on the college basketball experience preseason top 25. I'd take a swig of whiskey as we talk. Well, this team fucking cost me a lot of money last night. Their sneak peek. Purdue Boilermakers coming in at number 10. I know they lost the big Giants, so they're going to get less calls this year, but common theme here. We'll trust the coach, Matt Painter, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Gillis, Kaufman Wren. They're all back. They do lose Ethan Morden. Oh, no, Ethan Morden has another year, which is crazy. I feel like he's been there for fucking like 78 years. So, but Purdue, top 10. They'll be in the hunt. They'll be a top 3 team in the Big Ten. They'll be boring. They just won't have the big giant to carry them to the Final Four. It's, Rob, it's white boy era in Purdue in West Lafayette. They'll be really good at home, kind of like Wisconsin, kind of like Rutgers. We know what we're getting from Purdue. I got them at number 10. Nothing sexy. They probably will lose in the round of 64 as a 5 seed or 4 seed, whatever they are, and because they're not athletic enough. At number 9, welcome to the Big 12, Arizona Wildcats. Hard team to project because Boswell hit the portal today. They lost Ballo. They lost Keyshawn Johnson, but they're going to fucking reload. Caleb Love's back. Jaden Bradley's back. KJ Lewis. I mean, they got big pieces coming in. They got talented freshmen. Carter Bryant, Jamari Phillips, Emmanuel Steven. Arizona, they'll be top 10. Interested to see how their brand of basketball stacks up in the Big 12 because they're kind of a finesse team. And I don't know. I'm interested to see how Arizona stacks up. They don't have that physicality level that Houston had coming into the league. They're coming in from the Pac-12. They've kind of got exposed in multiple NCAA tournaments. But welcome to the best league in America, Arizona Wildcats. Let's go. I'm a fan of yours now. Let's go Wildcats. At number 8, and that's year number 4 for Tommy Lloyd now. He cannot get out of the Sweet 16 so far, so they got to get over the hump in Tucson. Number 8, we'll go to Caleb Love's former school. Let's go to the North Carolina Tar Heels. A lot pending here with the COVID eligibility year with RJ Davis. If he's back, I mean, fringe top 5 team. They're going to lose Baycott. Baycott's 77-year run in Chapel Hill comes to an end. Wojcik's gone. Withers is gone. Seth Trimble hit the portal. Cormac Ryan's gone. They lose a lot, but they got Harrison Ingram back. They're going to have talented freshmen. They're going to do a good job in the portal like they did last year because they know their identity. Carolina, I don't think will go away. I don't think that they're going to take the drop that they did a couple years ago when they went on that miraculous run, and then the next year, preseason one, they were complete dud. So I got Carolina coming in at number 8. At number 7, a lot pending with this team. Their coach is coming back. I can guarantee that. Nate Oates, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Mark Sears has a COVID eligibility year. We'll see what happens. So does Pringle. So does Wrightsell. So does Grant Nelson. We shall see what happens with these guys. They do lose Aaron Estrada. They may fucking have a piece or two hit the portal, but they'll do a good job in the portal. They've done a good job in the portal during the Nate Oates era. Well coached. They're going to play their brand of basketball, shoot a bunch of threes, get paint touches, drive, kick. We know what Alabama is. They'll be a top 10 team again. Not much else to break down here. At number 6, and honestly, as of right now, their roster has no business being number 6. But how the fuck can you bet against Dan Hurley? Unless you're me, of course. They'll reload. Right now, Diarra is a COVID eligibility. They're going to bring in some talented freshmen as well. They're going to build in their culture. Caravan, we'll see what happens with him. Samson Johnson's going to take a big step, but look for UConn to be active in the portal as they go for what nobody's been able to do since John Wood and try and win 3 straight national championships. As of right now, this obviously is not the number 6 ranked roster in the country, but we know that Hurley's going to be able to add who he wants to add and get the right pieces with his staff coming back. So UConn at number 6 for me. They could move up. I need to see who they add, but that's right now. I just jammed them in at number 6. At number 5, here's where the Big 12 teams start going. Let's go to Ames. Let's go to Ames, Iowa, where you got the Iowa State Cyclones bringing back a good chunk of their team that made a run to the Sweet 16. Obviously disappointing that they were not able to get by Illinois, but to bring back their backcourt, Lipsy, Gilbert, Jones, my man Mamlachovic is back as well. Yeah, I mean, Iowa State, they did lose a couple pieces. They lost Trey King. They lost Robert Jones, who could be their glue piece. Hassan Ward. They did lose a kid that didn't play much, a freshman, Omaha Billu, however the hell you pronounce it. He's rumored to be going to West Virginia, so maybe I should learn how to pronounce his name, but until then, I will butcher his name. But Iowa State, man, they were a top 10 team all year long. They bring back their whole backcourt. They got 4 out of 5 starters back. Top 5 team. And I know Rob's busting my balls right now that I got Iowa State over UConn. Yes, I do have Iowa State over UConn. Please tweet at me, UConn fans. I know you guys love busting my chops. As of right now, UConn really shouldn't even be in my top 25. But I threw you guys a bone. You guys have won back-to-back national championships. So I gave Hurley the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure he's already got this my quote on his bulletin board that this guy, this jackass right here with his West Virginia shit, fucking posting the last time we lost a non-conference regular season game was in Morgantown. Actually, was in Lawrence and then Morgantown. He said he doesn't even have us at number 5, not even in the top 5. Disrespecting the UConn Huskies over here. UConn fans, you're fucking psychotic. Dan Hurley's a perfect fit there. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about UConn. We talked about UConn enough. At number 4. I'm torn here. I'm between 2 teams. I'm going to go with, honestly, and I sneak peeked it with the WCC. Give me the Gonzaga Bulldogs. They played at a top 10 level from February 1st on. Nemhard comes back. Hickman comes back. Graham Ike comes back. They do lose Antoine Watson. They add Ajayi via the portal from Pepperdine. This is a fucking good team. Honestly, they should be higher, but the top 3 teams I thought were actually pretty easy for me to label. But Gonzaga, Mark Few, by the way, 10 straight Sweet 16s next year. You can pencil them in your bracket. Gonzaga will be good again. They'll win the WCC, although I did say St. Mary's will have a chance to win 3. I think Gonzaga is a step above. They got their guys going last year late. So Gonzaga sitting there at number 4 for me. At number 3, now this team's going to be interesting. I know a lot of people will by default have them at number 1 just because of talent, but they're young. Duke, Jeremy Roach could come back, 5th-year senior. I think they're going to lose Filipowski. Of course, they're going to lose, I think, McCain, Proctor. Mitchell hit the portal today. Young is out of eligibility. The big name, Cooper Flagg, that everybody knows. Isaiah Evans, talented freshman as well. I think 3's fair. I know the Duke fans will probably be like, we should be number 1. I can make an argument that they should be actually closer to 10 just because there's a bunch of unknown, and freshmen have not won in college basketball. They will be soft. I do see the chat fucking busting Duke's balls. Yes, fuck Duke. This is a fuck Duke basketball podcast. But with the talent that they got, I'll put them at number 3 right now. They're going to be talented in year number 3 of the John Scheyer era, and I will root against them every single game, just like many of you. All right, at number 2, you guys can do process of elimination on who's left on my rankings. I went back and forth. I went rock chalk at number 2. DeJuan Harris back, KJ Adams back. I hope Hunter Dickinson's not back. They don't need him. If he does come back, they're still going to be good. But if not, I mean, the big fella, top 10 big in the country coming in, the freshman, Flory Bedunga is going to be just fine. Furphy, another year for him. They added Riley Kugel from the portal, Zeke Mayo from South Dakota State, from Lawrence. Kansas, they knew what they needed to get in the portal. They needed to get more athletic and make more shots on the perimeter. We'll be interested to see. Dickinson does have a COVID eligibility year. Like I said, man, if he walks, I don't think Kansas misses a beat, but it will be year number 2 with Dickinson in that system. Maybe he's better in year number 2. Less bullshit. I think the McCullough thing was a distraction. I think Kansas will contend for a national championship again next year. Shocking, I know, but I mean they've done it. They've done it for year after year after year. And last time they got embarrassed in the round of 32, they won the national championship the next year. So Kansas number 2 for me. And at number 1, I tweeted it out today. We're waiting on the point guard announcement, but my gut says he's coming back with how it ended. Houston Cougars are my preseason, way too early, top 25 team. If Jamal Shead does not come back, maybe I slide them down to 3, 4, 5, but this team's fucking loaded. LJ Cryer's back. Juwan Roberts is back. Francis is back. Sharp's back. They got a chip on their shoulder. They should have been in the Final Four. The only guy that they're losing is Damian Dunn as of right now, and I'm sure they're going to add a piece in the portal. And just like UConn this year, there's a reason all their main guys are coming back. They love playing for Kelvin Sampson. Their culture's off the chart. This is where NIL could be good. If a guy like Jamal Shead comes back for a COVID year, and they pay the shit out of him via that way, keep a guy like that in college, see if he can get over the hump, win a national championship after blowing out his ankle in the Duke game. But I don't know, chat. I mean, who do you guys have at number 1? I think it's, as of right now, it's hard to say Houston's not number 1 in the country with who is back, who is projected to be back, who's coaching these teams. But yeah, let's talk futures. Rob, good point. If Shead does come back, it will be championship or bust. They obviously could have all their guys get injured again, but they do need to win the national championship if Shead comes back. They've come up short too many times. They have had injuries, but at some point you got to get over the hump. 24-25 futures. We're pulling it up right now. Let's dive into these. Why is this taking so long? Why can't anything just work the way I want it to work? All right, pulling it up right now. The futures for next year to win the National Championship. I got an idea. I'm just going to go over to DraftKings on my phone. How about that? Shout out to chat, Chris. Pitt did not make the rankings. Pitt, Blake Hinson isn't walking through that door. Although, with the way college basketball is nowadays, it wouldn't surprise me if Blake Hinson had some eligibility left. So, looking at the futures market for next year, where did it go? Pulling this up. Problem is they have college basketball scrolled all the way down because now there's no active game. All right, I got it up. Via DraftKings as of right now, Duke 10-1, UConn 10-1, Carolina 14-1, Kansas 14-1, Houston 14-1, Arizona 16-1. Man, they're kind of lining up with my top 25 here. Alabama 16-1, Kentucky 20-1. Who the hell is betting that? Baylor 20-1, Iowa State 25-1, Gonzaga 25-1, Auburn 25-1, Arkansas, woo, Pig Suey, John Calipari 30-1, Purdue 30-1, Rutgers 35-1, Sparty 40-1, Illinois 40-1, Texas 40-1. We didn't talk Texas. They're interested to see how they transition into the SEC. Rocky Top 40-1, Miami 50-1, Marquette 50-1, Florida 50-1, Creighton 50-1, Ohio State, BYU, UCLA, St. Mary's, the Johnnies of Rick Pitino all sitting at 60-1. Noah Beanick must be fucking doing these rankings right here because they got Michigan at 70-1. How? Maryland, Wisconsin, Villanova, all at 70-1 as well. USC, the Trojans with the Must Bus, Texas Tech, San Diego State, Missouri at 80-1. At 90-1, we got Hail State, Memphis, A&M. At 100-1, we got Oregon, LSU, Kansas State, Clemson, Xavier. At 120-1, we got Providence, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Louisville. I guess Kenny Payne's not there. Indiana, Georgia. There we are. I was waiting. I was going to go as far as until my team. West, my God, Virginia, Washington, Wake Forest, TCU, Syracuse. At 150-1, do not place this. The Pitt Panthers. So West Virginia, shorter odds right now than Pitt. So eat shit, Pitt. Back in effect here, baby, on the college basketball experience. Penn State, Notre Dame, NC State, Nebraska, Iowa, Georgia Tech, Cincinnati, South Carolina, Seton Hall, 150-1. All right, I'm not going to go any much further. DePaul, 500-1 if you want it. Get on over it. Let's go. Rob makes a good point with some of the teams that need to prove it next year. We got Auburn, Arizona, Texas, Indiana, Miami, Florida, Florida State. Cannabis Capper wants a little Detroit Mercy. Jay Lederman talking about Rutgers 40-1. I like that. If I'm giving out one right now, our King, good one. I like the New Mexico one. Or asking about the New Mexico one. I'm not going to bet New Mexico tonight. I'm not in a real rush to bet these since I don't know the full rosters. I just saw New Mexico. I think they're 400-1 with Indiana State. Yeah, and Grand Canyon. So, sorry. No, New Mexico's 200-1. They're in with Nevada, Dayton, Colorado, Buffalo. Sorry, not Buffalo. Butler, Boise, Utah. Houston 14-1. That's going to be the first one. Just because I know who's coming back. I know who's coaching the team. And if I think Shed announces it, I think that thing goes down to 8 or 9-1. So Houston first, future for me. Let's get something in the 30s to 40s. I don't think Purdue can win. Calipari ain't going to win in year number one. Auburn. Gonzaga 25-1. I kind of like the Zags 25-1, bringing back all that talent. I think everybody doesn't realize how good they were from February on. So give me the Zags 25-1, 14-1 for Houston. I ain't betting Kansas 14-1. Fuck that. It is tempting though. Give out a 50-1 here. Who could have a high ceiling next year that people are sleeping on? What's UConn? Just out of curiosity. They're 10-1 with Duke. No, thank you. Rob says A&M. What did I say A&M was? 40-1? No. A&M's farther down. Where is A&M? I don't know. I can't find them. Who do you guys got? Throw some futures in there. So I'm just giving out tonight. Houston 14-1, Gonzaga 25-1, and I'll look for a long shot. Nathan makes a good point with Clemson. Clemson actually, I don't know if they can win it, but I mean, fuck, if they get Hall back and they get Hunter back, I mean they've proven it that they're good enough. Marquette's a little tempting. Oh, there's A&M 90-1. Creighton's 50-1. Cannabis Cappers telling me to take Iowa State 25-1. Don't tell. All right, I added it 25-1 Iowa State. So I got Houston 14-1, Iowa State 25-1, and the Zags 25-1. I should just add all the Big 12 teams. That's what I should do. Next year's our year. We set out this year. We let everybody else have the fun this year. So we'll do more of this offseason. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be talking transfer portal, coaching changes, and others. So appreciate everybody rocking with us over at the College Basketball Experience the night after the National Championship. Less than 30 weeks till November 4th. So who's counting? Unfortunately, can't get here soon enough. Whiskey doesn't taste as good the night after National Championship, knowing that we still got 30 days till we start picking games again. But like I said, we're here all off season long. Want to thank everybody for riding with us all season long as well. You guys are what drive this engine, man. Drive this engine of the college experience. Go check out the college football experience. Go check out the college baseball experience. Go check out the college hockey experience. So they were giving out Frozen 4. Tomorrow, Noah and myself in the Big 12 are giving out, doing some Big 12 baseball games and giving out some other college baseball. But I'll also be back on the college basketball experience as well, talking more portal, carousel. We'll see what happens with the Kentucky search. We talked about who our candidates were last night. Go check out that episode. We talked about Arkansas, USC, SMU, that whole domino that created Calipari going to Arkansas, the Must Bus going to USC, Lanier going to Rice, Enfield going to SMU. It's bad shit crazy. Obviously, we got 1,500 names in the portal. We will continue to cover all those all season long. We do not cover Korean baseball as of right now, but maybe I'll talk to some people, David, and see if we can get that thing going. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, tell a friend. College experience. And I know we will lose some people here over the next 6 months, but when you guys are ready to come back in 30 weeks, well, we'll be talking college hoops year round in between now and then. That's all I got. I'm going to pass out or probably pour myself another drink and be depressed knowing that we got 30 weeks of college basketball season. Welcome to portal season, everybody. The worst time of year, but hey, we'll get through it together. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.